Hi, this is Fred and welcome to another video. So today here we're taking a look at another project here, 92 Amigo Lane. So in scope of work entails doing some repair work throughout this road. Let's take a look here. So pretty much will include doing repair work and maintenance for all the areas here. Right here, starts here and all the way like this. So I already went out there in person. I took measurements and I'll show you here shortly. Okay, so these are the actual photos here of the areas that I took note of that would need some repair work. And this is an area here that I would definitely recommend we excavate at least this area, and then we can grind everything else 1.5 inches, and then repave. So this definitely needs to be grinded down and repaved. Seal coating would be an option at the end after we do all the repair work. Seal coating would be the final process in this project. This way we blend in the new repair work with the existing old asphalt, and it will cover the whole surface, and it would seal and make it waterproof and watertight. Usually water is a major culprit for damage for asphalt. When water starts seeping through all these cracks, if you leave these cracks unattended and uncared for, all the water continues seeping in, and then what happens is that it just starts to settle. The base underneath starts to become mushy and weak, and then when that happens, this just grows, becomes like a cancer, spreads out, and then the vehicle movement, the tires going back and forth, the traffic, it makes it worse. Eventually you have ponding here when it rains. It collects water, and then it becomes a crater. This crater is gonna look unsightly, and then an actual pothole, and it just goes worse from there. So to avoid that, to prevent that, we have to I'll always maintain our pavement surfaces. Always seal all the cracks. All the cracks like these ones, they all need to be sealed to prevent water intrusion. So yeah, so that's here. Over here, this is Mountain View Boulevard. Mountain View Boulevard. So here, all this pavement looks in great shape. There's an old patch here that's a repair that was done at some point. It looks like it was probably like 6 years old when it was done, but everything else looks in great shape. The integrity of the pavement still is great. You can see aggregate, all those white dots, those little white dots, if you zoom in enough, all that is exposed aggregates starting to show. So we're still at a good time to replenish that surface tar, the bitumen that has been lost and eroded due to weathering in the sun. So, and usually the asphalt surface has to be nice and coated, kind of like the road here. You know, you can see how the road is nice and black and coated. That's because it's been properly maintained somewhat. This one, however, on Amigo Lane, it's a little bit faded. It's faded because of the erosion. The sun bakes the surface, and then the rain, the water, and everything in the winter and then in the summer causes erosion. And when you don't seal coat and protect the surface, eventually you start exposing the aggregate. Right now the exposure of this aggregate, it's mild because you can still barely see it. However, there's severe cases of exposed aggregate when the actual rocks and the pebbles, they start to become loose, and then when they become loose, what happens is that it becomes like a hazard, because then people can slip on the loose gravel, and then rocks can skid vehicles can skid as well, their tires on the loose gravel, and it's very unsightly and unclean and dangerous. So you want to prevent, having a pavement in those conditions, and it's also very expensive, because then you would have to grind down or tear everything out and then repave it. So yeah, right now this is in great shape. We just need to replenish the seal coating, and seal coating, I recommend you do it every 3 years or so, depending on the traffic, the use, wear and tear, and so forth, and also the climate. Because if you, for example, live in an area where it snows a lot, the pavement gets beaten a lot more because of the hot and the cold in summer, and then in winter, and then the snow, and then the scraping machines, and then the salt, and all that does a heavy toll on the asphalt. So here, swiping through more pictures, like all this, well, this needs some repairing here on this side, definitely. Over here, this looks in great shape on this side, so just repairs on this side here, on this side. So I would probably do like a little, 15 by 20, excavate and pave. Over here, this at the beginning of the road. So that's a closer look. So this all the same. And towards this side, so these are surface alligator crack damage. So these can be repaired by grinding the top 1.5 inch and then repaving the top surface again. Because the structural damage hasn't been severe yet, it hasn't gone all the way down to the base. This is still fixable on the surface. So it's gonna be somewhat of a medium cost. Obviously, we want to do as cheap as possible. We can just seal coat the whole thing and just ignore these and just leave them as is. The seal coating will obviously not fix this permanently and will not be like a real solution. It would just somewhat stop this from getting worse. And but yeah, it's something that will be low cost, and it will make it look a little better and get a little bit more years extra of your pavement without actual excavation. Again, my goal is not to overspend the budget if this budget is limited. Also, I want to make sure you get a good quality job. So if you have little more budget, then I would prefer we do it properly and do an excavation. And if your budget is flexible, that way you have a proper repair. So here's a little video here. So yeah, so all this is in very bad condition. So this can be, yeah, this is in pretty bad condition right here. So we can just grind the top 1.5 inch here and just overlay it. All this, and all this. Well, this is in good condition. Well, this is not good actually. So we need to grind this out and overlay it. All this needs to be grinded down. So once we start getting to the point that we're grinding down over 50% of the pavement, 50 to 60%, it's a lot more efficient to just resurface and grind everything uniformly, so that way it looks good uniformly. So yeah, because picking and choosing areas, it's not very efficient. So it might as well do a whole overlay over the whole road. So yep. So that's where we are. So let me show you more. Over here, that's the video we saw. There's another one. Let's see this one. Yeah, kind of the same thing at the beginning. So over here, this definitely needs to be fixed. So these are a cluster of cracks. These cracks are all very close together. So we recommend either excavating the whole thing or just scraping off the top 1.5 inch and then doing retopping the top surface. Yeah, definitely. Over here as well. Over here as well. Here, so if we just seal coat this seam right here, the separation, the seam, this is a new asphalt work that was done probably to install this drain, storm drain, and this was the old original road. So because of they widened this out, you eventually got a seam here. The seam can capture water through there, causing a leaking underneath. You don't want leaking of water underneath the base, so this can be sealed. This crack or seam can be sealed. Also, these can be sealed, and then all these sealed, and then everything overcoated with seal coat. So that's what's recommended here. But again, since we're doing a lot of grinding work already at the beginning of the road, might as well, since the machines are already on site, we can also grind the top 1.5 inch. So we can eliminate these seams, all these cracks, and then pave the top 1.5 inch, so that way you have a brand new uniform asphalt paving here. So that's another option. Again, I'm gonna give you pricing options on that as well. So this scenario definitely needs to be fixed. Oh, this is really bad. This is a cluster of cracks commonly known as alligator cracks. This is in a very final stages. One of the worst conditions is this stage where these basically all these little basically rocks are isolated due to all the cracks all around. You have all these little cracks and rocks. Eventually these start to get loose and they move in place every time the car goes in and out. This also absorbs so much water. Instead of water draining through the surface down a hill, it just gets captured in here, and this becomes like a large sewer or a large drain, and it goes underneath the base. It's to get absorbed by the dirt and the base underneath, and then this becomes mushy, and then eventually you have potholes. This becomes loose, and then you have gravel, and it just becomes worse and worse. So this definitely needs to be excavated in full, because this is basically already structural deep into the base. So I would probably excavate all 3 inches deep into this area. So this is probably like 20 by 30 area, and this way we fix it. So this we can just mill and fill. Mill and fill is just the top 1.5 inch of all this from side to side of the road and all along with the milling machine, and then overlaid again with new asphalt, a new 1.5 inch on the top. So this will we eliminate all these cracks, the seams here that you see, the longitudinal and the horizontal seams here that you see. We'll remove those by grinding down 1.5 inch of the top asphalt, and then we'll repave again the overlay, the top 1.5 inch, so it looks like you replace the whole thing in new. But it's less costly, because if we remove it from scratch, the whole 3 inches of asphalt, then that doubles the expense. So yeah, so this is a good way to minimize the cost, stay under the budget, and also get a little bit more life from your pavement surface. Like, all these cracks are really wide. They're probably like 1/2 inch of an opening. This is capturing all the water, which is really bad. It's terrible. You don't want water leaking into the base. Here you have an actual opening into the underneath base and gravel. It's really bad. Here's more alligator cracks, really bad. And yeah, so this definitely needs to probably be excavated. I would say we can do all 3 inches, or maybe at least 1.5 to 2 inches. Over here it's in fairly good condition. A little bit cracks here and there to your left, can be sealed and so forth, but here it gets a little bit worse. Definitely grind down at least 1.5 inches of this area. Probably not into the actual owner's driveway, but just into the common road. And here a little bit of that next to the trash bins. All this as well. Here past the car, it's in fairly better condition. This can get away with just seal coating. These cracks can be easily sealed. And yeah, so this looks in good condition over here. Yep. Down this side, it looks in great condition. Probably because not a lot of traffic goes down this way because they're the last few homes here. But yeah, let's see what this is. So here it looks like at one point they ran utilities down through there, another utility through there. And yeah, definitely it would be nice to just grind the top 1.5 inches of that and then overlay it again. We go down here. So yeah, over here looks in fair condition. Oh, this is terrible. Definitely need to grind down, if not all the 3 inches, at least 1.5 inches or 2. Yep. Well, that's the end of it. This is the total size here for this project. The total, it's a total of 37,000 square feet. Right here, 37,000 square feet. So we'll be quoting that for the basic maintenance, which involves the seal coating. So definitely, let's get this out. So definitely the seal coating, and that's definitely what we would factor in. So first, 37,000 for this project. 37,000 square feet plus or minus of seal coating, which entails also crack sealing, and yep, that's at minimum what we would prepare a scope of work with this. And yeah, now in addition to this minimum, I would recommend certain areas to grind and overlay. So roughly, I would say we grind and overlay at least 50% of this total surface space, because that's pretty much 50% of it was okay, and the other 50% of it definitely I would recommend grind and overlay. So this would entail 1.5 inches of grind and overlay. So we'll mill the top layer and then pave back, and so we'll do 50% of the total pavement. The other 50% of the pavement is salvageable. We can leave that intact. So we'll factor in around 15,000 square feet. 15,000 square feet of grind and overlay. So this is a basic scope of work that I'll be preparing for you. And yeah. And yeah, so this is at minimum what I would recommend. This would be definitely you need this, and definitely you need this. Another scenario, there's just a few spots here and there that I would recommend we grind out the whole 3 inches of asphalt, full excavation and pave. There's a few areas that were pretty bad up here, like maybe this section, which is like 20 wide by 20 long. That's 400 square feet. Other areas like this probably. Let's see. Like this definitely. So probably do like 20 by 20 or so. 100. So you have definitely this. Excavate a full 3 inches. So I would say 5,000 square feet. 5,000 square feet full excavation and repave. So this would be a good recommendation, but these two are necessary, this one and this one, in order to do a good job. And this way we restore your pavement surfaces, and yeah, that's what I recommend here. So I'll be uploading this YouTube video. Hopefully this is helpful to all the homeowners here, because I know that we need to share this information with all the homeowners in this shared road, to hopefully share the cost of this project. And I'll be sending you a proposal. Hopefully we do it this year or the next. Either way, we can work with you with the timing. And yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know. I hope this was useful. And if you like videos like this, feel free to follow, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you again. My name is Fred from We Love Paving, and I'll be sharing more videos in the future. Talk to you again. Take care. Bye bye.